And welcome back. What a time to be a Minnesota sports fan. You know, obviously our Vikings aren't doing so hot, to put it mildly, but we're seeing what JJ can do. And then the Wild, I mean, they're just unstoppable. It's just so fun to watch. Also, Timberwolves. They're picking it up. They're doing really well as they head into the holiday season here. Andrew Dukowitz covers the Timberwolves, also the Lynx, and Gophers women's basketball, all the fun stuff. And he joins us now. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me as always. Glad to see you're back and glad to be back.
Yeah, so, and speaking of people coming back, can we just kick it off right now and tell us about the welcome home for Kevin Garnett?
Yeah, I tell you, it's made me feel really old the last couple days, because being at Wolves practice and going up to Naz Reid and saying, what do you think of Kevin Garnett coming back? And Naz being like, I was 10 when he was playing, has been tough. But it's a really cool moment for fans. I think this was a priority when Mark Lowry and Alex Rodriguez took over the team, and it's really nice to see that they were able to smooth it out so quickly. And then for kind of the internet Twitter sleuths that have been looking at all of these breadcrumbs and putting up pins in their tack board, it's finally coming true.
When is this going to happen? We need the sleuths on the date.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I would be really surprised if they announce when he will be back in the arena. Mm-hmm. I think that will be an organic moment where, you know, coming out of halftime or coming out of the third quarter, Kevin Garnett's just there.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think Kevin Garnett still has like a house in Minnesota. So
probably. You know, when he'll come out is.
Could.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, it could be as early as tonight. It could be against New York when Cat's back in town. They could save him for the playoffs. It really has a lot of possibilities to make that moment special.
Yep. I think he does the fourth quarter hype video as the fourth quarter starting in the arena. He gets in there and it's an old video from decades ago, and it would be cool if he did that live. I'm just putting it out there because the Timberwolves need my help to make that an awesome experience. So let's talk a little bit about some of the other things going on. What I love about your coverage of the Wolves and Lynx and everything that you cover is that you really kind of get in on just the fun stuff on the side that we don't always have time to cover here. You know, with our sports department, they're covering so many different sports and have to cover the sport itself. And then you kind of have carved out this nice niche. Tell us about some of the things that you've been covering lately, starting with yesterday with Jaden McDaniels.
Yeah, it's the benefit of only covering one sport is I get to go to all of the fun things. And Jaden braved the wind and the snow and the rain and everything else to do an event at, I believe it was the Mung International Academy in North Minneapolis, where part of his Winter Essentials drive is bringing people in need winter clothing. So he surprised a group of elementary students with a book reading with Crunch, Crunch being the star of the show, I would say. And then afterwards,
Andrew, hang on a second. Do we have the video of that, or do we just have a photo? Okay, let's play the video.
Yeah.
This is your video, Andrew. What's happening here?
Yeah. So again, part of the charm of being able to do this and being, you know, close with people at the team is I get to be the behind-the-scenes person. So they are introducing Jaden to go around the corner here, having all of the kids howl for him. Before he runs around the corner and surprises them. It's always funny because I think they always make the kids do it 2 or 3 times, but this time especially, Jaden was ready to go.
There he goes.
They made him wait a little longer.
That was loud enough. And then I understand he actually didn't have much of a voice yesterday too, which is a bummer.
Yeah, it's interesting. I got to talk with him on Tuesday, and he had a voice just fine, said he went home, took a nap, woke up feeling fine, but couldn't talk. So I think one of the teachers called him Beaker from the Muppets. So he was trying his best. He was really giving it a go. I think one of the charming things about Jaden is he is very self-aware. So as he's talking to these kids and just kind of squeaking around, he's like, I can hear myself. This is terrible.
Yeah. Well,
But yeah,
awesome.
every kid that was there got a beanie hat. They got to pick a book from the Wolves bookmobile to bring home over spring break and keep, and then a swag bag and an autographed picture of Crunch too. So
awesome.
it's a really cool event.
That is so great. Love to see that, and I'm glad you're able to get out there and cover those kinds of things. It's cool to see what they're doing off the court. I wanted to really quickly, I didn't want to run out of time because I want to talk about the WNBA and what's going on there. You also cover the Lynx. A big vote today in this process that's not always like cut and dry. I mean, there are steps involved here, but where are we with the WNBA and the players?
Yeah, I think they're still just staring across the table at each other. I know both sides really want to get a deal done. They don't want to lose any of the steam coming off of last season and 2 years ago when it was Caitlin Clark that entered into the league. They do realize how important it is, but it seems like there are just a lot of issues that are pretty far apart. So the WNBA is, releasing what new max salaries would look like and kind of big numbers, but if you do the math on it, it amounts to be a revenue sharing agreement that's pretty similar to what they've had over the last 5 or 6 years since COVID. And the players would like to see that revenue go from a 10% share to closer to 30%. So it's still kind of a staring match. And, the WNBA Players Association voted to authorize a strike if it were to come to that. I don't think they're going to just lock the doors tomorrow, but it was pretty much unanimous. I want to say it was 95 to 97% of players agreed to stay out of facilities and agreed with a work stoppage if it were to come to that. So again, I'm still pretty optimistic that it will get done before the season starts, but as we're standing here right now, I wouldn't be surprised if when this current extension ends in January, if there is a work stoppage just to try and iron out the last few details.
Sure. Okay. Well, we'll stay tuned. If we keep rolling with that, if it looks like we're entering that territory, we can come back and kind of revisit some of the other details here. Retirement benefits, childcare, better wages, and the WNBA has obviously changed a lot in the last few years. Are they still making money? Are they making money now? All those questions out there. So we'll dig into that a little bit more as we go. The Wolves, just really quickly, Wolves and the Thunder tonight. What are you thinking?
Yeah, the Wolves are talking about this like it's a big deal, which, Rudy said it was a must win today. Nas kind of talked about it that way yesterday. And to be honest, this is a measuring stick game for them to see how far off they are, to see how close they are to that upper echelon right now. As we're talking, they're 6th in the West and about 3 games behind the 2 seed. But Oklahoma City has just been a juggernaut. They've lost 2 games all season. So the Wolves are motivated. I do think, Anthony Edwards listed as questionable again. He was getting some shots up in front of the media after practice today. I think it's fair to think that he might be back tonight. And everyone on the team is pretty locked in at really making this a tough game. So one thing we've learned about the Wolves over the last couple of years is when they're motivated, they're one of the best teams in the league.
That's just it, right? All right, Andrew, thanks for joining us. Really appreciate it. We'll talk to you, next week and see. There's going to be a lot more to talk about, I think, as the Wolves get more and more traction here. So have a great weekend. See you soon.
Thank you. Okay. Always a pleasure.